Okay, we're going to look at a few different areas of deer inventory. So I've got deer inventory loaded here. I've got it on a slightly different zoom, so it may look slightly different to your screen, but the logic is all the same. I've got a deer trial here, which has got these options across the middle. You don't need to worry too much about. You won't see them in yours. We've got some information on the chart of accounts, suppliers, products, customer information here, and then some sales, purchase information, any orders, quotes, and so on and so forth. So I want to just look at the product area. So if I just go view all products, then this will give me a list of anything that's in the system. This consists of both finished goods products, raw materials, and component products. So even if something is only used as a component or a part of a final product, it will still show here as well. So we've got all kinds of different products here. As I mentioned, this is our test system. One thing to note here is you can import and export lists, so that can be particularly useful if you want to, for example, export your inventory list, make changes to it, and then import it back in. Your only thing to be aware is don't change the SKU code, because that's what the system relies on. So if you change a SKU code when you import it back in, then the system will think that you've got a whole new one, and it will create a whole separate product. So going into a particular product here, I'll just talk around what a whole load of these columns and areas do, and hopefully make a bit more sense. So top section here, SKU code. So this is usually it stands for stock keeping unit, but it's usually some kind of product code or similar. Product name, type, whether it's stock or service. So a service code would be like if you're charging product wrapping or something like that. So not a sold physical product, for example. Categories you can set up yourselves, and you can add new categories from here. So that's really just for tracking particular types of products. Costing method is really important. So Fifo is first in, first out. So in other words, the first product that came in will be sold out first, and with its equivalent cost as well. Serial number and batch tracking is available as well. We'll talk about those in a separate video, but there is ways of handling batch tracking as well. Fifo is first expiring, first out, so that's for food and drinks manufacturers predominantly, or special if you want to pick a batch number or a serial number every time. So that's probably more likely to be used if you've got like technology or something where you have serial codes and you pick an item from the stock list and then you need to tell it what serial number you're selling out. Units of measure, drop shipping. So drop shipping is when you don't keep a product in stock, but when there's an order placed, it goes straight from the supplier. So let's say you sell fridges, they're obviously a big unit, you don't keep them in stock yourselves because of the cost associated with it. You just ship it straight on from your supplier. Bill of materials. If you tick bill of materials, then there'll be a tab that shows up down here. We'll talk about it in another video. That then allows you to say that this, for example, this bread is made up of some other ingredients or some other materials. Inventory accounts and revenue accounts. These pull from your associated accounting platform, whether that's Xero or QuickBooks. So if you don't see a revenue account or an inventory account or a cost of goods sold or tax rules, you'll need to add them in your accounting first and then resync. Product discount if there is any set discount. Stock locator is used for big warehouses, so you might say it's in aisle B or section 2 or whatever it might be. Status is active or inactive. Default location, if you have multiple warehouses, you can say that the default location for this is a particular warehouse. Additional attributes we'll talk about later. Barcoding can be quite useful. So barcoding, you're recording if there is a barcode you want to set against this product separate to the SKU code we talked about earlier. Minimum before reorder and reorder quantity. These are quite important. So this is saying if you get down to a particular stock number, then I want to reorder it. So it might be when we're down to 5 baked breads, then I want to reorder another 50, for example. Product tags is similar to the category we looked at over here, but the main reason I would use product tags would be end of life products, things like that. Description you can have here as well, so you can put a longer description of the item which is also searchable. For example. And then along the bottom here we've got some tabs for further options. So pricing, so these pricing tiers have been set up in our settings. So again, if you don't see a pricing tier here, you need to go and change it in the settings first. but we could say, for example, we're going to have it as $10 RRP, $10 retail, wholesale gets it cheaper, and overseas as well. Dimensions for recording as well and useful for shipping. Suppliers, so then when you have particular suppliers, you can have unique supplier codes, and also whether particular suppliers have different pricing. Movements will show you everywhere that this product has gone in and out. So in other words, anytime you've bought it in and anytime you've sold it out. Discounts show for particular customers if there is a customer discount. So customers can have tags. So you might have a VIP customer, for example, and then you say for particular products, VIPs get it at, for example, 10% off. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we go through customer setup in a little bit later video. Finally, images and attachments. So here you can have an image stored against the file, or you might have a manual or a warranty card or something similar as well. So when you set everything up, you can save this product. You can also clone it as well if you wanted to set something up that's similar. But I'm just going to save that for the moment, and we'll move on to look at some of the other areas in some other videos.